Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Naveen. This is the time for you to entertain with experiences from Rotterdam. And here I am to share you the experience that I had while I am at 36th week, which is the week where I learned to build APIs with Flask and Django. I'm not going to explain what an API technically is, but I will explain to you the topics that I had to cover and the learnings I had and how these things take me closer to my goal, which is allowing me to build ML projects to solve business problems or real world problems that can help others to be more productive, to make more money, to solve the pain points that they have. So, if I'm starting with it, I got to learn about building APIs with Flask and Django. Uh, when it comes to building an API for a system which is built on Python, there are three main frameworks which are Flask, Django, and Fast API. These are the three main frameworks used to build APIs for any backend system built with Python, which is in Python ecosystem. Then how can we choose between these three frameworks? Which one to choose to build an API? It will depend on a lot of factors. When it comes to Django, Django comes with built-in ORM along with authentication and all other things. But if you're using Flask, Flask is a lightweight API building framework. So you will have to bring ORM from outside, like using SQL Alchemy for the purpose of ORM, and you will have to use for the purpose of authentication, you will have to rely on JSON Web Tokens, JWT authentication and all. So I just named a few things which you have to bring outside of the ecosystem when you're working with Flask. So this is the main distinction between Flask and Django. Then if these things already exist, why should we even care about Fast API to build APIs? The problem is that Django is so heavy. If you're building a heavy web application, then that heaviness becomes easier. It provides us the value. But when it comes to Flask, it is so simple. When I mean it is simple, I mean that we have to build everything from scratch. We will have to bring things from outside, combine it, and we will have to do a lot of manual work. But in most of the scenarios, especially when we are building APIs for ML related projects or tasks, sometimes we want something which comes at the middle of Django and Flask. So this is where Fast API shines. Fast API took this sweet spot where it is not so heavy as Django, but at the same time, it is lightweight and can build fast performance, high performance APIs with asynchronous technology. So this is what makes the fast API a secret weapon and why people who are building machine learning systems actually allow fast API to build APIs. So this is the main technicality behind the things that I had to learn in this week. Now I love to share with you guys how I approached this week. What are the other experiences that I had in the Kochi Hub? Okay, when it comes to Kochi Hub, you know that when a new person looks at the Kochi Hub, it's like people filled with dreams and uh, goals coming together into a central hub at Kochi to build their skills so that they can change their lives to solve the money problems they have. Yeah, it is true. Every people who have been here is have come here to build their life to get into an IT job so that they can have great life. I have listened from many people here in the hub that they really want to attain financial freedom. And I'm so happy to hear that I'm around people, I'm surrounded by people who have great aspirations. This is what I always wanted. I wanted to be with people who have great dreams and who are willing to work. And the other thing uh, which is a great advantage for prototype hub is that I can see people who are ready to put the works, who are ready to put on the time, who are ready to invest the time to build the core skills. This is something that I was really happy to see because it's very easy to tell that I have this dream, I want to build this thing, I want to be at this position. Everyone wishes, but not everyone is ready to take up the challenges, take up the pain, and do the work. It takes courage. It takes something bigger than just being a visionary. Yeah. So I'm so happy to see people who are so hardworking, who are people who are filled with that fire. I'm so happy to see that and to be surrounded by these people. And the thing is that when these people are performing, I feel insecure. And that triggers me to work even harder. I consider this as an advantage because insecurity, this stems out from my core human psychology. Because when we see that others are outperforming us, we tend to consider others as risk. Because when we were living in forests, if someone is more powerful or performing well, it means that he reduces the chances of survival for us as he can claim more food and resources, thus reducing the available resources for our family. So this is the same psychology which is acting on me, and I consider this as an advantage to help me work more, to gain more skills, to invest more time, because I realize that I'll have to put extra work. I'll have to go the extra miles if I want to attain something bigger, something greater. So these are things which have actually made me understand the value of the place where I am. So these are the experiences that I had. So yeah, this is what I would say about Kochi Hub. I would say that if you're having a plan to build any kind of technical skills, especially in the IT, assume that you have joined Prototype, try as possible to get into Calicut Hub or Kochi Hub because these are the two best hubs that Prototype have. And if you want to be surrounded with people with great aspirations who want to achieve great dreams in their lives, I suggest you to be here. Because you will see people who are ready to put down the work, put down the hours. When I initially joined Prototype, I was not a person who was willing to do this much amount of work, who was willing to sit in front of the laptop continuously for more than 12 hours. I was not the person of that type. It took me weeks to get into this habit because in this process, throughout the process, we are shedding our older selves. We are forming a new identity for ourselves. And that entire process was really painful. You will have to take up that pain because there is no any other way. Because it's the process of reforming yourself. You are shedding your old habits and creating an entirely new identity, which is entirely different from the previous uh, way you behave. So this is something which you need to understand. So that's what I want to share with you guys about my experience here at Prototype Kochi and how I felt about being a part of this Prototype Ally Club. So that's it. So see you next week with the update on how my next week is. So see you then. See you later. Bye bye.